What up, Buzz? You tapped in? Okay, Goose, you tapped in too? All right, Chicago, y'all tapped in? All right, boys, let's crack 'em. Feel like Mike in the fourth with the ball in my hands and I'm taking a shot. I'm the king in the madhouse on Madison, whether I make it or not. Now the crowd going crazy, they watching the play and I'm watching the clock. Got my shot in the air and the buzzer go off and I'm watching it drop. This team did things, MJ shot City 6 rings. D-Rose too big, too fast, too strong, history. And we good on that, put Jilla on the track and we good on wax. 3, 2, 1, everybody say Bulls on tap, Bulls on tap. Our city pretty and gritty, Benny the bull in the crowd getting hyper and litty. Me, I'm so drippy, it's slippery, nothing offends me. Banners on banners, we winners, we got the stats in the news. Go and subscribe, hang out with Buzzy and Goose. Tapping with us, we the truth, Jilla just murdered the booth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bulls on Tap. I'm your boy Buzz. I'm joined by my dude Goose, and we are here to recap a Chicago Bulls victory. That's right, a Chicago Bulls victory, 113-99 over the Toronto Raptors. But before we do that, be sure to go on OnTapSportsNet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. Following us on Twitter, there's my cat at BullsOnTap, at OnTapSportsNet. Following Goose at BullScripted, me at Buzz on Tap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review, because that's cool and tough. If you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, go to the YouTube. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the OnTap Sportsnet YouTube channel, and hop in the comment section with us, and let's talk about this win. Goose, they're back on track. They get Project Pat back tonight, and they pick up a W while holding Toronto to under 100 points. I know it was off a back-to-back. They didn't have Gary Trent. They didn't have OG, but I am going to prove my narrative right. I'm going to spew my story, and they beat a team full of Monstars tonight. That's what they did.
Yeah, no, that was the forwards and Fred tonight. You literally had about everyone on the floor besides Van Vliet that was 6'7 plus, and the Bulls had to kind of adapt. Caruso got the start, which I think was the right move by Billy. Apparently, I'm talking to a monitor.
He moved the camera on me.
Man, Boo's just on super sabotage real early.
Yeah, he's being a dick.
So no, Billy made the move to Caruso. We got Pat back, and for the first time in a while, we actually saw the defense to offense formula. Turnovers were not really in abundance, but when the Bulls created turnovers, they were able to get points off of turnovers tonight, which I think was the biggest thing, because we botched quite a few free throws early. Yeah, no, we did. Early how the Bulls started, I was kind of like impressed with that first quarter, 30-24 there. They were playing well. Defense was kind of turning into offense, but again, the size is an issue here. You know, you're getting outworked by Siakam. You're getting outworked by a guy like Scotty Barnes. They're doing things on the, on basically for loose balls or rebounds, and it's giving them second chance opportunities, which was hurting the Bulls. Obviously, they were able to turn that around. Bulls win this game, even though they were out rebounded heavily. He's just jumping all over me right now, so you're gonna have to forgive old Buzz here. This cat is just being unbelievable. He's fed and everything. I can't get him out of here. He's all tangled. Anyway. I felt like, Jesus Christ, dude. Now he just knocked over a garbage can full of beer cans. Unreal! We haven't recorded in how long? This is going to happen on the first night we're back. Anyway. It's going to be a stray cat soon. Yeah, no shit, dude. He's about this goddamn close. Anyway, I didn't feel like they started off great, even though they had the good first quarter, but a lot of problems still exist here. But I don't want to talk about the game problems. I want to talk about a major problem before we get into the game and get your opinion on this. Lonzo Ball is suspended, running for 10 days. He will not be running for 10 days now. They're going to try to strengthen that knee. Initial reaction when you saw the news today? I mean, we kind of got a little bit of foreshadowing of this news earlier last week. So this isn't too surprising to hear that we might not see Lonzo until the playoffs, if we even get to see him in the playoffs. Because 10 days from now, if he's just starting running and lateral movement, it really doesn't sound good for the regular season. So I don't know. I mean, he's a giant part of this team. Luckily, we do have the emergence of Ayo in his absence. So it feels like the blow is lessened in a sense, because you have this young guy who came up huge tonight, which I'm sure we'll get to as well. And luckily, you did sign Alex Caruso in the offseason too. So we are deep at the guard spot. Getting Pat back allows us to play a little bit bigger again. We actually have some forward depth now to play with. So it is nice in the sense that you have these backup guys that are here to kind of cover up what Lonzo gives you. But as we've touched on every single time we've talked recently, covering up for a guy that's an all defensive caliber guard and 42% 3-point shooter on high volume is irreplaceable. So hopefully we start to get positive news with Zoe here, because I can't take any more bad news.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think we see him in the playoffs. I kind of like read in between the lines of our buddy Joe Colley and what he was tweeting out that, this is not good. Then we saw some things from Rob Schaefer too. Even with this new projected timeline, you're still looking like towards, what was that, April 5th, April 10th, like somewhere in the April 5th, April 10th area. And are they going to want to bring him back into the rotation when you get into the playoffs? Not that you don't want, obviously he's a great player. Like you mentioned, he'll be fine, I think. But, you're kind of going in with that chemistry. Is he even healthy enough? Because we don't know what it's going to be like when he starts running again 10 days from now. We don't know what it's going to be like. We don't know what kind of strength is going to be built in his knee. We don't know any of that. So I think it was just a little bit of a crushing blow, especially for me. And I'm sure there's a million people like me that feel this way, because he's my favorite player on the team. I know it sounds so odd, but I've told you this a million times. We laugh about it on the show all the time. I do not buy jerseys. I don't know why. It's just,
That's all it is.
I'm a ball boy. I like the Ball brothers. See, I almost said I like the balls, and then I realized how that was going to sound if it fucking came out. Now I'm a little irritated at you. You didn't even need to say anything. You got me to say it. I don't know how that happened.
Just
anyway,
I just yeah, up there, and you were like, I like balls, So.
You're ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous. But no, I was blown away. It sucks, man, because like I said, fully healthy, the defense creating offense thing. I felt like Lonzo was at the forefront of that all. For the first 35 games he was here, and it just sucks that he's not now. But like you said, there's the depth at the guard position. Iota Sumu, Alex Caruso. Kobe White. There's depth there. But you brought up a guy who came back tonight who actually pushed our boy Iota Sumu out of the starting lineup, which I kind of felt was a little weird. But Patrick Williams comes back tonight, looks pretty good. He confident. Looked confident, and he was doing some good things out there, but they paired him and Io coming off the bench together, and I loved the Caruso, Io DeSumo, and Patrick Williams lineup, because those guys are fucking dogs, and they try to create turnovers, and they just do a lot of good little things on the court. What did you think about P. Will's Project Pat? What did you think about his return tonight? That was good shit.
I thought it was good. He came out, hit a 3 early, kind of showed you right away what he gives you that Javonte doesn't on the offensive end. Saw a couple aggressive drives as well. Crazy, damn near 360 reverse layup on the break that probably will break the internet at some point later tonight. But
that was impressive, man.
It was.
That was like, do you remember NBA Live? Do you remember those video games?
Yes, of course.
I remember back in and this is going to show my age a little bit. I remember NBA Live 2005. And that was the first year when you got into the paint in that game. You hit B to dunk, right? And you go up to dunk, but if there was a defender there, you hit B again, and he would switch his animation to do a crazy layup or something like that. That's what I felt like Pat did tonight in real time. And I was like, God damn, man. I was like, okay.
It was a video game glitch layup.
Yeah.
That is very good, accurate description.
Thank you.
Probably a little bit more lucky than good, but I'll take lucky over good in that situation all the time.
Right.
But no, just having that depth and the confidence that he had in his first game back was reassuring, because you didn't really know what you were going to get in his return. If we were going to get, kind of timid, out of shape. Luckily, it seems like he kept up with his cardio. With it being a wrist injury, he was able to stay, fit in that regard. So he didn't look unconditioned. Given the Bulls' score, did he end up playing his 25 minutes?
He did not. He played 19 minutes. He went 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 3 from downtown. He had 7 points, 1 steal, and 2 boards. I know that we're kind of hyping him up big time there to what the stat sheet looks like, but again, that's why you watch the game with your eyes. He looked good. Was it NBA Live 06? Alex Rude coming out, man. Alex Rude coming out. He's always he knows everything about everything. Alex Rude is a walking encyclopedia, and if he doesn't have your vote tomorrow, you should go after yourself because Alex Rude's a good guy. So I just want to throw that out there real quick. Alex Rude, the man. But I thought he played well. I'm excited that he's back. Dude, what do you think about Kobe White getting 13 minutes? What do you think about that?
I think when you have your defensive formula cooking for you, you got Zach cooking in the third there, which he completely took over.
16 points in the third.
You have the offense with Zach, Demar, and Vooch on a night like tonight. Vooch did show up for the most part. Buzz, debatable. But when you have those guys cooking, you don't need Kobe as much. Obviously, the spacing's always nice. But when you can have Pat out there instead of Javante, teams do honor that in terms of spacing a little bit more as well. So I'm not too surprised by it. It kind of.
I just thought 13 minutes. I was just kind of shocked. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little shocked.
We're playing a team of all 6'7" guys, so I think
I know. I just think that Kobe's speed sometimes kind of helps, and his ability to somewhat move without the ball a little bit is appealing. But I mean, he has been on the struggle bus lately. We all know that. So seeing Io get to 24 minutes to Kobe's 13 tonight was pretty telling in itself. I do want to talk about Demar Derozan and Zach here, so we're just going to couple these two up. Demar Derozan against his former team, his former team, 11 for 14 tonight, 1 for 4 from downtown, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. He finishes with 26 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 blocks for Demar Derozan tonight. Zach Levine in 35 minutes as well, went 9 for 18 from the field, 3 for 6 from downtown. I felt like he could have attempted probably 22 threes tonight. He just didn't do it. I don't know why. He went 5 for 8 from the free throw line. He finishes with also 26 points, 6 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal. And my favorite stat of the night for Zach Levine, a goose egg in the turnover department. So Zach also didn't have any personal fouls either. So that's fun. That's fun, ain't it? Those are fun stats.
Yeah, no turnovers, no fouls, especially playing against a bigger team tonight. I mean, I guess he was tasked with Fred for the majority of it, but no, I mean, I like some of the moments with DeMar and Fred tonight. Just
I thought DeMar was going to hit him with, like Stacy said, they're friends, so he's not going to hit him with the you're too short thing. But
he spared him the embarrassment of calling him a small man. And, which is it's nice. It's common courtesy, but I also would like to see it. Like in the heat of the moment, you can't spare your friends on a live competition stage. You gotta rock the baby. You gotta give them the.
You just gotta be ruthless. No, so what you're saying is you gotta be ruthless no matter what.
Ruthless.
So like if that's me and you on the court and you're gonna fade away in my face, you're going like that.
Being from living in Rockford now, I guess I should probably know that Fred's definitely about that. So maybe DeMar was making an executive decision there.
Okay.
So maybe it was a very wise decision, but I think in the heat of the moment, torch it.
So you're telling me right now, if we were playing a game against each other and you hit a shot at me and you were pretty close, man. We talk every day, even when we're not doing the episodes. If you hit a shot in my face, you'd hit me with the little guy thing in the heat of competition.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
I'd Grayson Allen the shit out of you the next time you went to the rim.
I see.
I'm just letting you know, man. I'm not athletic at all. I got to take you out somehow. What the fuck am I gonna do? Look at me. Look like a fucking yard gnome sometimes. What do you want me to do? I don't know. I have to do something. So I'm gonna have to be that guy now.
It's
you
okay.
just made me.
I'll just make sure that you're on my team. It's okay.
Okay, well that's fine then. See,
every team needs a Grayson Allen.
Yeah, that makes me happy then.
As much as you hate him, if you have him on your team,
I just want to be accepted. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to be accepted.
I think that's Grayson's case too.
Yeah, I just want to be accepted. And if you did that to me, I'd be very hurt. So if I get to be on your team, I'm glad now. I don't have to worry about that. I just get to do it to some random person. So obviously, yes, those two big games. Caruso struggled shooting, but he just did Alex Caruso things, getting the offense in their sets, playing defense. Vooch, 7 for 17 tonight, 2 for 4 from downtown, 3 for 5 from the free throw line. He finishes with 19 points and 13 rebounds. Out of those 13 rebounds, Goose, 7 were offensive. So really good night on the offensive boards for Vooch there. He also added a block, which was pretty sweet there in the fourth quarter or third quarter. But yeah, other than that, man, Toronto was missing Gary Trent Jr. and OG tonight, and they were coming off a back-to-back. Now, Toronto actually, did you see that interesting stat NBC put out, or were you watching the Toronto broadcast?
Actually, was watching the NBC broadcast.
They put that in, Toronto has like 10 wins off of back-to-backs or whatever, and the Bulls had 8. They're up to 9 now, so they're second in the NBA. But Toronto wasn't fully prepared either tonight. They're missing some key guys, especially a Bulls killer in Gary Trent. That dude just fucking hits big shots against us all the time. So I would say that, I wish they would have had him to see what it would have looked like. But Nana Boo Boo, you suck. I'm glad we got the win, and I don't want to play him. Fucking done with Gary Trent. I don't want to see him anymore.
Well, and as we've already touched on, we've been out without Lonzo for like going on.
Right, and I will beat that point.
45 games here, so
right, and I'll beat that point into the ground too.
No sympathy for opposing teams missing players at this point. If anything, that kind of just levels the playing field.
100%
Bulls right now. But I think, as we touched on, biggest thing tonight was getting Pat back, adding to that depth, which I guess we saw earlier. The question that we've asked all year is who's going to be out of the rotation come the playoffs, and it looks.
You read my mind, man.
It might be our buddy Kobe, depending on the matchup.
Well, I mean, look at what happened with the return of Patrick Williams. We didn't get a TBJ or a DJJ sighting tonight until the very end of the game for Troy Brown Jr.
So the white flag was already waved.
Yep, we did not get. And I like DJJ. Obviously, he has the finger issue. He's playing with that splint on his finger. TBJ, we kind of knew with how his play was this year that once these guys started coming back, that he'd probably fall out of the rotation quite quickly.
He's had very few bright spots. When they're there, they're great.
Yes, I mean, his rebounding was pretty cool. He had some moments where he was able to hit a shot, but yeah, I mean, I thought he'd be a lot better than he was, but obviously he's fallen out of the rotation. I was a little surprised by Derek Jones Jr., but I'm wondering if Billy is just like, listen, Pat's back. Your finger's obviously fucked up and broken. I'm gonna rest you when I can here to keep you fresh and keep you not in pain.
In matchups like if we see Milwaukee and Miami, the bigger teams, the super athletic teams, I think DJJ is somebody that you're going to have in the rotation there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I don't think that's going to be. I do think it's a mainstay point for guys like Tony Bradley, who also got in for garbage time tonight for about 2 minutes there. But I think it's points to like him and Troy Brown Jr. that they will no longer be in the lineup, and then DJJ will be used sparingly, kind of how you pointed out. I don't think it's going to be an all-time thing when you see him. And then once Lonzo does return, it looks like you're right. Unless you need some microwave scoring and you're hoping Kobe can do it, that's when you're going to get him. Because I don't know how you don't play Iota Sumu. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that kid's confidence at this point is hard to keep him off the bench. I do think he plays a more efficient, team-friendly style than Kobe. Mm-hmm. Obviously, tonight we did play a team that was playing huge.
6 assists off the bench for him too, bud.
For Io?
Yeah, 11 points and 6 assists for him off the bench today. No turnovers as well.
No, he really pushes the pace in transition, and that seems to be something that correlates with his team's success throughout the year. So if that's something that I was going to provide for you pretty consistently, I don't see how you keep him out of the rotation, regardless of who's healthy or not.
Right. So I don't really have much left for this game. You have anything else you want to bring up before we move on to the next one?
No, I mean, I guess, do you see Pat starting, or do we get Javonte as the starter and Pat off the bench? Pat can be bench mob 2.0, as I believe it was Sam that we had in our comments here reference earlier, or is Pat going to be a starter here again shortly?
I wouldn't mind him coming off the bench for the duration of the regular season, the remainder of the regular season. Let him just kind of work himself back into those kind of minutes. Number one, I know you can obviously start him and then take him out, but you're ultimately play a player like Pat when you put him back in the starting lineup and you intend for him to play starters minutes. Okay. This is his first game back, obviously, right now. Billy already has stated that he wants to work him in slowly, that he'll be coming off the bench. I think what's intriguing to me is when I thought Lonzo was going to be coming back as well, I thought it'd be like, a Caruso, DeSumo, Pat Williams paired with like a Zach Levine, coming off the bench. And that just kind of, or DeMar DeRozan. It was like, holy shit, there's some nasty defense mixed with some, offense here. But, if I had to guess, I definitely say that he's going to come off the bench for right now. Maybe by playoff time, it'll change.
Okay. No, I mean, I don't see how you take the energy that Javonte gives you. He's been a Siakam killer in these matchups with Raptors, so I was happy to see Billy not, be anxious to get Pat back in the starting lineup tonight just because of the success that I feel like Javonte's had against Pascal.
Right.
But no, it's going to be a tough one. How do you keep your number 4 overall pick coming off the bench for a guy that you got paid to acquire from Boston? I honestly, I guess in the grand scheme of things, that doesn't matter. I mean, it's the fit and the approach to defense and the balance of the two lineups. Because if Pat gets to be more aggressive offensively and you feel more comfortable with Javonte's he's just a dog. Like,
I know, and that's why everybody loves him. Like I have like this White Sox Twitter group chat that I'm in with a bunch of like Jim and Alex and a bunch of other guys are in there, Brian, Senior Sox, like guys that like the Bulls, but I wouldn't say that like I think the Sox is their number 1 and then it'll probably be the Bulls or something like that. But they all love Javonte Green. We were just talking about that in the chat today. It's like just how his motor and how he plays the game is like, why I think he's so desirable, not even just for those kind of guys, for people like us too. We've got the Javonte Green Power Hour on this show. We love Javonte Green. I don't think that, I think that if anybody were to question how do you play him starter, in the starter role over a guy like Patrick Williams because he's the 4th pick, I feel like that would just be all fan speculation talk at the end of the day. Like Pat realizes that he has not played since game 5 of the 2021-22 NBA season. He's in his 2nd year. The first 5 games he did play with this team when they were healthy, just missing Kobe White at the time, were less than desirable by a mile and a half. So, you kind of have to work your way back in. And I think Pat understands that. He's a pretty humble dude. I mean, that from everything that you see of him, I just think that would be more of a fan thing. And I think that a lot of these guys have trust in Billy Donovan too. If Billy fucking told, if Billy told him, listen, man, you're going to pay 15 minutes. How, like you said, how do I bench Javonte Green? Because you're coming back. I can't do it. I think they would understand that. Be like, well, yeah, I got hurt and this kind of cards I got dealt and sucks. Like, I can't say I'm excited about it, but I understand it because the team was winning. But eventually, like I said, I do see Pat easing his way in and kind of, taking over that role eventually. I love Javonte Green, but there's a couple reasons he got called out tonight, Goose, and that's because he doesn't pull the trigger enough when he's wide open. And then he will put the team into bad situations because now he's driving to the rim. He's surely going to be cut off. That makes him have to find another cutter or somebody who else is open for 3. And you don't want the ball in Javonte Green's hands in a playmaking opportunity. So that's what will probably end up taking him out of the starting lineup come important game
because
time.
That is one thing that Pat does bring to the table that Javonte doesn't, and that's playmaking ability.
Yeah.
Obviously, Pat's not nearly as aggressive as Javonte on really either end of the floor. Obviously, it was Pat's first game back, but in terms of getting around screens and kind of getting into guys off of screens defensively, I think Javonte's got a pretty big edge there too, just in terms of energy and desire to get around the screen.
Right.
And then Pat's just a bigger guy. He's got those tree trunk legs. It's kind of hard to get around screens sometimes.
Right.
So I do think it's going to come down to trust in Billy, like you referenced, just because matchup wise, we might see a change night to night. Whoever Billy feels is going to have the best opportunity against opposing teams, power forward that night might be who gets the start, especially come playoffs.
Well, I'm glad you said that because I feel like it's a great transition come into tomorrow night's game. The Bulls are going to be on a back-to-back here. We got game 1 of the back-to-back. Game 2 is against the defending champions, a team the Bulls are 0-2 against this season, the Milwaukee Bucks. This is in Milwaukee with a 7 p.m. start time tomorrow night. If there's any time I'd like to see Patrick Williams get minutes that are more than 25, it's right now when they play Milwaukee and a guy like Giannis. And I know that Pat can't stop Giannis. It's just maybe you fuck him up a little bit there, here and there.
Do you think, given the fact that he only had to play 19 tonight,
that has something to do with it?
The 25 is a little loose tomorrow instead of being like, 25, pull him? Like, can he hit 26, or do you think 25 is still going to be that spot on limit there.
I think 25 is still going to be the spot on thing. I think it's going to be at 25 minutes. And I think that assuming Giannis gets 34 to 36 minutes, if this game is going to be competitive, if he gets 34 to 36 minutes, the Bulls are going to have to cover that 11 to 12 extra minutes of not having Pat in the game to cover Giannis. So that's what they're probably going to have to do. So that's when you said maybe when you see a DJJ or something like that, in these particular matchup settings, these specialty matchup settings.
Got to match a freak with a freak.
Right. So you have to do something there. Because again, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, Pat Williams is going to stop Giannis. No, the fuck he's not. No, he's not. But maybe the length will bother Giannis a little bit, get him thinking, where instead of just trying to get to the rim and taking the contact constantly, he'll try to settle for a jump shot. I don't know. But
I think Pat gives you the option of not being so predictable in terms of the double defensively when it comes to Giannis.
Well, yeah.
You can, play him straight up a little bit more occasionally, or at least change up the looks, because Pat does have the size to kind of at least slow him down in the post a little bit. But
I'm thinking that if they do some like plays for Pat tomorrow night, kind of get him going a little bit where he's cutting to the basket and stuff like that. I'm assuming they would try to keep Giannis on him. If not, well, it is what it is. But I mean,
so you're thinking more the offensive end, wearing Giannis down on that end.
Yeah, because I'm kind of chasing him all around because Pat moves a lot without the ball, which is awesome. I love that out of a guy who's his size. He moves a lot without the ball. And plus, he hits like 50% of his shots from downtown. So movement without the ball, being able to cut and get to the rim, that living on that corner and hitting that three, you're going to have to command a defender there. So once you take the best defender out of the paint for the Bucks, which is Giannis, you kind of open up Zach and DeMar to kind of break everything down. You bring Giannis in, kick that ball out to Pat as a 50% shooter, hit the fucking three. That's what I'm kind of like looking to see them try to establish tomorrow night against this team. In the Milwaukee Bucks, but again, with Pat just coming back, I think it might be kind of a pipe dream, really. So I don't know if they'll play him that much.
Yeah, I mean, how much does this game mean? How confident are you that at full strength that you're actually going to take the win? It's not worth really risking overplaying guys on a back-to-back here.
Yeah,
but we did get a handy victory tonight. We took care of business, didn't have to play hard to the finish in a brutal slugfest. So, I actually do feel pretty good going into tomorrow night.
Well, let me ask you this.
Well, the last two games.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, would you say it's a must-win game? Do you think they need to go balls out, straight up balls out?
The Lakers have been doing us favors left and right the last week. So thank you, LeBron James. Not something I say often, but thank you.
I almost said Looney Tunes. Space Jam 2 sucked. Fuck you.
So I mean, the Bulls do have a slight cushion in terms of not falling into the play-in, but I think you have to treat every game to close this season like a must-win. You said it first, the majority of the year, and coming in tonight, you had the threat of falling into the play-in. That's not something that should sit well with you, and it's not something that you should let yourself be put in that position again. We need to steer clear of the play-in. Given our health, we need a 7-game series, not a short series. No.
Right. That's where I'm at right now. I feel like every game is a must-win right now because if you look, the Bulls are sitting at tonight was their 42nd win, right? So I'm pretty sure it was their 42nd win tonight. I will fact check that. I need a stat guy. It's either 42 or 43. But anyway, they were a game and a half away from being in the play-in. I don't want that play-in. I don't want the play-in, especially after how much shit we talked. Let's be real here. It's the 42nd win. They're 3-7 in their last 10.
We are the only team in the playoff running in the East that has a below 500 record in the last 10 games. It's not good.
No. So basically where I'm at right now is yeah, guys, I understand that there's, Zach and his knee is not 100% all the time. And Pat's just coming back and Caruso's finding his range of motion with his wrist injury and all that kind of shit. But now is the time where you can't hear it because you just need to play through it. These are the big moments that separate good teams from bad teams and stars from superstars. You're struggling 3-7 for a playoff team. No bueno. It's not good. You have to figure it out. So tomorrow they need to go in there and be like, okay, yeah, we've lost 2 of these games to them. They are the reigning Central Division champions. They're the reigning NBA champions. We need to go in there and fuck them up, not just because of them being champions, because we're in fear of falling into a non-guaranteed playoff spot.
We don't want to be the Cinderella story that wasn't.
Right. That exactly is it, dude. Like, we need to come out and be like, okay, yeah, fuck this. No, we held first down for the majority of the season. That's what we did. And then the injuries finally caught up. And the magic months of DeMar DeRozan finally kind of caught up to him, where they weren't.
The fact that we've had one of the toughest schedules all season
from
start to finish.
Break, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of looking in the mirror kind of shit, which sounds so stupid and cliche, but it's true. It's like there's no plays can be taken off at this point. In that second quarter, when they fucking let them back into it, they were taking plays off tonight.
I really thought the free throws in the first half were going to come back and bite us.
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
Did we start like 4 for 10?
Yeah,
I believe that's how we started.
Yeah,
Vooch and Zach both botched a pair at the line. And with as close as the game was in that first half, I was like, man, like
it just
you're winning the turnover battle. You're doing everything right. You're shooting over 50% from the floor, not putting up too many threes, but like you got to hit your free throws. Like we bitch about not getting calls all the time, and now we're getting calls, and you're not converting, and that hurts more.
Yeah, that's a you problem. You know
that's a you problem.
Right. So you need to figure that shit out and correct it, because at this point, when you sit there, I love that you pointed that out, because that is something I said on the show a million times, drives me nuts. And you know what? Me, Alex, Rude, and Juice, when we're at games and shit, and Zach will do that on the court, like we visibly get irritated. It's not because like we didn't think he got fouled, because we all sit like right next, and Burke has been there with us a million times too. It's like, dude, just get back on fucking defense, man. Just get back on defense. And now he's getting the calls.
They're not gonna blow the whistle now.
Right, and you're not converting, so now it's like, come on, man. Like figure your shit out. You have to do the little things to win games, and I stand by this. Free throws win games. I mean, often more times than not this season, dude. If we would have hit all our fucking free throws in close losses, we would have won.
We got some free throws given to us.
Right. So
no, the free throw discrepancy has been a big issue, and it can't be because you're missing them. That can't be the reason why the discrepancy is there.
Right. Also want to throw this out to you right now. Alex Caruso will be starting long-term, according to Billy Donovan. That's from our dude, Joe Colley, hoops over at the Chicago Sun-Times. So he will be the starter moving forward. I kind of like Io coming off and setting the tone off that bench, especially because I think right now, today, Io DeSumo is a better scorer than Alex Caruso. So bringing that defense and scoring, a little bit of a scoring off the bench, being able to lead that offense, having now featuring Pat Williams is going to be pretty big there. So I dig that.
I have to agree. I like the move from Billy. We saw, positive results from it tonight, despite somewhat off shooting night for Alex. He was one of the few players that looked comfortable pulling the trigger from three, though, which is really all you need in a lineup with Zach and DeMar, is that spacing to be there, having the players that are willing to take the shots out of the double. Alex is somebody that's willing to do that. And at least for now, him and Javonte have that defensive advantage that covers up Zach and DeMar's weaknesses. So I have to agree with the move there. And outside of Lonzo coming back, I don't see a reason why that should change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, shit, man, we have not been on the air since what? They went to the West Coast, right? We missed the West Coast games because I don't know how people fucking do it. I can't stay up that late anymore, dude. Like, I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus right now. But, we're getting through it because I'm hyped up. It's not 10 o'clock yet, and it was a win. But we're going to be here back-to-back nights, man. We got a win tonight against the Raptors. We have a God willing and fucking a beer chug win against the Bucks tomorrow. They need it big time. You have anything else to share or say before we get out of here?
No, let's avoid getting bucked, and let's get on the right kind of streak here.
Yeah, I don't want to get bucked, bro.
No, I don't want to get bucked.
Don't want it.
And I like winning streaks. I don't like the losing ones. So let's put one of these positive streaks together and avoid getting bucked.
Absolutely. Everybody be sure you're going on tapsportsnet.com for all your Chicago sports literature and podcasting needs. If you don't, you'll get bucked. Follow us on Twitter at BullsOnTap, at OnTap Sportsnet. Follow Goose at BullsScripted, me at BuzzOnTap. Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, you can listen to us, 5-star rating and review, because that's cool and tough. Also, if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook, thank you for watching there. First of all, thank you very much. Go over to the YouTube, subscribe to the OnTap Sportsnet YouTube channel, hop in the comment section with us and everybody else that floods in here all the time after Bulls wins or losses. We either cheer together or we bitch together. It just really depends. We'll be back tomorrow night after the Bulls take on the Milwaukee Bucks.